Well, there were multiple patients coming across the bridge towards us, and we later became aware that there were other patients still on the south side of the bridge who were being treated there. But what we saw was really extraordinary, of just members of the public, police force and some paramedics who had already been on the scene, just literally running the length of London Bridge carrying patients, which is not easy to do, and just getting people out to safety and towards us. I've since, talking through it, it seems like London's ambulance service made some very good decisions very early on to get those patients out into safety where we could get them all together and treat them. But it was just very impressive and inspiring to see just everyone working hard to get patients out of a dangerous place and into safety. I think at the time, because we actually on a daily basis, obviously not in these numbers, but we see these kinds of injuries, we go into quite a focused professional type of mode. But then as you read the paper and hear stories and some of the more human aspects and and details of people's lives, it does come home. Yeah, just the human aspect of what's happened and the individual tragedies in people's lives. But the other thing that I've really come away with, I think, is just the kindness and the love showed by the people looking after each patient, be they bystanders, junior doctors who were there, police. One of the messages I've been reflecting on that's come out quite a lot is this love, not hate. And actually people are choosing not to respond with hatred. And I think I really saw some of that on the night, of just love being shown to complete strangers by these bystanders and professionals on the scene. I think we'd already had a sense that it might be a similar kind of incident because the information we were receiving was of possibly a van versus pedestrian or pedestrians, and that there may be also stab wounds involved. And so I think even on the way to the incident we were wondering whether this was going to be a similar incident to Westminster. I think the mood, although there was clearly people were alarmed, actually by the time people got to where we were on the north side of the bridge, I think there was a sense of calm, that people felt out of danger. And what I saw around each patient was a group of perhaps police or London Ambulance Service or bystanders, and each one was just talking calmly to the patient, reassuring them, and there was just a mood of calm and order that we were able to examine and look after each patient and get them away to hospital as quickly as we could. In a situation like this where there's multiple patients, our role changes slightly to step back and try and get more of an overview. So it starts with a brief examination of every patient to work out who the sickest people are, who is the most urgent to get to hospital. And then after that, my role turned to basically supervising each of these little groups of people with each patient, and to help them to support the patient, to let me know if the patient was deteriorating, and to try and keep that kind of overview. So a simple thing that I was able to say even to lay people was keep talking to the patient, and if the patient stops talking or becomes quiet, please let me know, and then I could actually step in and pay some attention to that individual patient. I have to say on Saturday night the response was excellent. I was really impressed. We work every day with the London Ambulance Service, and a number of the people we were there with that night are personal friends, and yet I felt there was just a stepping up a gear. There was just a really very professional, very well run response. Inevitably there were challenges. There was it's a very dynamic situation, an event like this, but I felt there was flexibility and all the right procedures were put in place actually to get patients to safety as quickly as possible. So it felt a privilege to be part of.